Yeah, it unfortunately does use a very older system. There has been some talk since Amazon now has the open source Lumberyard, but Second Life uses a system literally called Open 3D Engine. It's a
There we go. Welcome to Metaverse Degen. I'm Lion.
I'm Old Man Raptor, and folks, we've got one hell of a group here today, and I mean a hell of a group. We're going to start from this side and go through each person's name, if you would please. And they are...
Yeah.
Well, I'm Cadet Yo-Yo.
Well, I'm Lieutenant Junior Grade Me the Bun.
Crewman second class. Maya.
Lieutenant Raya Von Wild.
Freya's mute.
Lieutenant Lesser Shifton.
Oh.
Fleet Admiral Katrina Bixby from secondlife.com.
Oh. SSC Admiral, Rear Admiral Julian Lemon Drop from Second Life, and VRChat.
I'm Captain Wren. I'm the shipbuilder.
I'm Lieutenant Honora Pert, lead of the Academy.
Captain Delandian Von Wild. Starbase Command.
Ensign Sybil Faywolf.
Oh.
Starbase Secretary.
Oh. Well, thank you all very much for joining us. It's a pleasure to be able to meet all of you. Mask, what is your group and what got the whole thing started, Mask?
Oh, here it goes.
Best for the Admiral.
Oh, what got the whole group started, Mask? And what is it?
Actually, I was traveling across the road and I saw a person in a Star Trek uniform. And I was like, wow, there's somebody here from Star Trek. And I followed him. I became a stalker. And he invited me to be in the group. And I met, Cobra Max there. He was a real geeky guy. I think he was a lieutenant junior grade. And the two of us decided that we were going to have a fundraiser for the group. We were just excited and wanted to do something for the group. So we had a yard sale. We actually just took free stuff that you could, free stuff, but some of it was really cool stuff. And instead of hunting for it, people could come and purchase it from us for some Second Life cash. But the idea was we made an announcement in the group that we were having this fundraiser and inviting people over. And the lady who supposedly was over the group was very offended to the point that it became very negative chat in the group, announcements and things of that nature, that we were trying to take over and this, that, and the other. And that wasn't the idea at all. So it became kind of a battle between the existing members and us and a few new members. And we all agreed to have a meeting and to get together like you guys are right now and just talk, right? However, I told Cobra Max, I said, knowing this person that we've talked to so far, everything they said they were going to do, they haven't done. I bet you they're not going to even show up for the meeting. So Cobra Max and I showed up at the meeting, and about 10, 12 other people showed up at the meeting. But the person that was supposedly in charge of the group did not show up. Whoever created the group disappeared, and no one knew where they were, anything. The group existed, but it didn't really have a formal leader other than this lady. So Cobra Max IM'd me and said, "You're right. She didn't show up to the meeting. So why don't we make you the fleet admiral?" And I said, "Okay." And so I became fleet admiral.
Oh wow.
And it was the group that was there. Nobody outvoted me or anything like that. So we just basically took over the group. And then it was a battle from there because some people weren't happy about that. And it just, we eventually just, most of the people started working with Cobra and I. And we started becoming a real good team, and we got a really great bunch of programmers and different people that wanted to do things trek like in the Second Life world and make the Second Life world our Star Trek world. And so that's what we did. We believed in the Roddenberry dream of having a non-prejudice, a very positive community where people kind of work together, different nationalities, different groups, different. As you may know, Gene Roddenberry was disabled as a child,
Mm.
and so he was left out of a lot of things, and so he became a very good writer of fiction of the world that he wanted to have, which was the Star Trek world.
Oh wow.
So that's how we started initially.
Okay.
But
How long has it been going on?
Oh, 18
How long
years.
has it been?
Oh wow.
Okay. Okay.
18 years. We started in 2005. Yes. And that first year we decided to Second Life at the time only allowed you to have two groups. I believe it was two groups. It was a very low number. Oh no, two ranks. That's what it was. It was positions in your group. So you either had to be a captain or a ensign. Those were the two things we started off with. And then eventually Second Life allowed us to have more groups, more ranks, and things that you could do within your groups. And so our group expanded as Second Life expanded. But the most important thing, though, out of all of that is the game, like this game. You guys were saying some things you would like to see in this game. What happened was our people wanted different things in the game that we did not have, and so they would actually invent things. And that's one of the things I've always been so proud of in Second Life is that our engineers figured out how to do a lot of things for the Second Life world that became routine after a while. But initially it was you couldn't cross sims without dropping off. Your system would drop you off the system, or you'd crash a lot, things of that nature. The lag, we had an anti-lag group that actually helped us to make our world more flexible and technical for us to be able to advance. So
Wow.
this world, I expect the same thing, just like somebody made the uniforms, the gentleman made this beautiful station. It starts with somebody having a vision and actually putting in the time to organize something. And then when team members start working together and enjoying things together, you reach for other things. And also a lot of our members were handicapped. A lot. We've had many deaf. One of our best programmers was a deaf young man. And then, of course, members from all over the world. So I think the unity and the teamwork, it's been great. It's been great. Personally, it's been great. I've learned about different softwares. Like the people here were just telling me about different programs, Bender, things of that nature. Even in Second Life over the years, just we were using Skype, 20 years ago. Just we were just right on the cusp of learning of what we could do with these tools, and it's just great working with talented people with different knowledge. It benefits you in the long run. You know, even now I use AI almost daily. I'm in law school in real life, and I'll be out in a few months actually.
Oh, wow.
And it because of Second Life, I'm able to just do a lot more than I probably could do technologically because of being in the computer and being in Second Life. People think of it as a game, but I don't think of it as a game because you can take so much of that information and use it in real life to develop things.
Hmm. Wow.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. We've had a DJ who was bedridden, but was one of the best DJs to get online and keep and get our parties going, our balls. It's been great. We've even been in contact with Paramount. At one time, they were thinking of doing some things in Second Life, and they actually visited the few Star Trek groups that were in Second Life, and they did choose a group to work with them. But they broke up after a while. It was a little problems, some kind of contract issues. But I think it's just fascinating that we even get recognized. You know, Wire magazine has published many articles about Second Life. We've been in Metaverse magazine. We've been in a lot of different magazines, and people have done many videos about Second Life and Galaxy Fleet Command that are on YouTube.
wow. So for those who may not know,
Nice.
what is Galaxy Fleet Command and what kinds of things does your group do?
Galaxy Fleet Command is a group that focuses on sci-fi and working together.
Right, you can go relieve Goro.
Sorry about that. But the group on a regular has role play for those who are interested in role play. And the role play is regular. We have a general meeting for the group every week, and we have had meetings for the last 18 years. And usually it's planning what we're going to do next or what kind of things we want to have coming up or reporting what's going on. There's a lot of Trek groups and sci-fi groups in Second Life now. Somebody should
You
pat
okay?
that guy on the back over there.
You all right, Honora?
Pearl, you okay?
Water down the wrong pipe?
Sounds
Mm.
like.
They're good.
Oof. They're good.
Cool.
Water's
Role
important,
play
but
is one of the
breathing is
things
too.
that we do. The other is if you're interested in games, there are games that we can sit down and play, sit down at the table, similar to what you have around the room here. There are some people that, like myself, I play a hand and foot card game and certain things that you can do. So, yeah, and then we're in role play and then not in role play, but we do have ranks and the academy and library, all kinds of Star Trek videos and files we saved in game. We have an auditorium, big beautiful auditorium. There is a holodeck. And then there's plenty of ships and builders of the ships, sellers of the ships. We have a market. There's a Galaxy market. place where people sell uniforms, shoes, weapons, whatever a person might be interested in.
Hmm. Okay.
So mainly Galaxy Fleet Command is a business and social type world for people interested in Star Trek, sci-fi. It includes not just Star Trek though, but all of the other DS9 and the other programs as well. Sometimes we'll have meetings where we'll tell people that they need to dress in this particular types of uniforms and things of nature to participate in this event.
Okay. So I want to start asking questions about specific pieces because I'm curious about a lot of things. Like, for example, the role play. How in depth and close to the story is the role play, and what is it you guys do in that front?
Usually it's about an hour,
Hmm?
and the lead role play lead will indicate what the topic is for the day. Sometimes there's meetings before the role play where they'll decide what uh, series or what type of Star Trek they would like to do this week. Or they might have a whole month where they're on a particular Star Trek First Generation or one of the different ones. But yes, we do actually pull scripts. We do use Discord to record our role plays so that if someone misses it, they can come and actually read the chat if they like so that they can catch up and know the story for the next meeting. But they are liberal, where a person can ad lib outside of the script. That's fine. As long as they're not completely derailing the story, it's okay to. But the only thing in the role play we ask, there are some rules, and one of them is to try to stay in character as much as possible.
Okay.
So, and it's role plays. It might be but some of the fun role plays that I like. It's when it's a destroyed ship. There's smoke flying around, and there's damaged ship, and we have to try to repair it so that we can get out of there and go back on to our exploration.
Oh. So what have this is to the whole group as well. What have been some of your favorite events or moments within role play or the group itself? I'm honestly quite curious
In
as
the
to what.
group itself, for me, some of the funnest things have been the biannual ball. The biannual ball usually encompasses announcing awards to the members for their services to the group, as well as promotions. And every 6 months, we'll have a biannual ball. I'm sorry, and it usually, that's how people end up being an admiral. Is Julian Lemodrop here? She has been in the group probably the whole 18 years, pretty much, but off and on. But she's worked her way through all the different ranks, and she is an admiral now. So yes, you get rewarded for your time and your effort and things that you do for the group. We've got a website, and then and people come in and they make things and create things for the group. For example, today we had a memorial for a missing in action member who we believe is deceased in real life, but we're not 100% sure. But we had a member put together a rocket that will shoot the body into space. And so we just, members will volunteer to make different things for the group or do different things like hold a regular meeting for the Air Corps or hold a regular meeting. That's one key thing that has helped us a lot is having regular meeting places, regular meeting times. That seems to really help a lot.
Mhm.
Over the years, it has.
So in terms of the meetings, how is it easy to run a group that's a multi-platform like with Second Life and VRChat? Is it easy to keep everyone together and functioning normally?
Actually, we say it's like herding cats. A lot of times, people have their other, people have their different interests. And so they may not, they may, and you may have people volunteer to do things, and then nothing happens. That happens probably about 85% of the time. So, but we have a real neat core right now of members who've been with us really a long time.
Oh wow! So what is kept the? Ooh.
I can happily say that over here we've had a little bit of a flip on that percentage. I'd say about 80 to 90% of the time people follow through.
Awesome. Awesome.
Oh.
Yeah, there's a large difference between the Second Life community and the RD community in regards to certain situations, especially in roleplay situations, stuff like that, and event situations. A lot of situations our admiral has gone through is some of the same and yet some different. So there's a clear distinction and a clear line between the Second Life things and the VR. So she's right. It's like herding cats. Everyone can have a different experience and a different viewpoint of what can happen in regards.
So,
but it's thanks to the.
Oh,
sorry.
No, you continue.
I was just going to say it's thanks to the core GFC Foundation that we've been able to have such great success.
Oh wow!
They've gone through a lot of the trial and error for us, and we've been able to take what works and build from it.
Oh. So, may I ask how?
Okay, now wait a minute. Wine, wait a minute. Now what you just said, what is that? For viewers that do not understand what that might be.
Well, for an example, the overall structure of the group was already laid out in Second Life. The group's creation, we modeled everything that we do here in VRChat after the way that core GFC was set up. The rank systems, the regulations, everything that they built already, we had to work with as a resource. So the rules and regs were already written up for us. We just had to adapt them to the new medium.
And if any of you ever want to see them, they're online at galaxyfleetcommand.com/blog. And you can go in there and you can see our regulations and some of the events. Holidays, for a while there, we did use holidays a lot. And we created holidays. Like we might have a day where you're going to be a giant for a day. Or we've had stuff like that. Or our week of Western. Just different theme days. We've done that too, which was always a lot of fun, and people would get together and build things for it.
Oh.
We've had a lot of fun doing that.
Okay.
Okay.
So a question I have, since it's been alluded to a little bit, that both sides are similar yet different. What are some events that happen in Second Life here for the group, and what are some events that happen here in VRChat in the group? Are they similar? Are they different?
Well, just sitting here right now is a very similar group. We've had opportunities to sit down comfortably and talk about different issues or that we want to do. I mean, conversations like right now, looking out the window, it appears that we're in space, where someone else may think that it might be more interesting that we be sitting on the ground in our station, maybe the academy or something like that, or the headquarters. So we'd have discussions about how we wanted to proceed in the future and how we wanted to envision ourselves,
Hmm.
and try to come to some medium
Hmm.
through polls and voting and things of that nature. This type of group reminds me of that. That's very similar. And then I know you guys do role play. That's certainly very similar. And just having the station here is very similar. We've got lounges and very nice uh, stations. I don't know if you guys have apartment buildings. I saw Delanian's quarters, but Captain Delanian's quarters. But
That look.
Might
not be the best to bring him.
Boy.
but
You
but
know,
there we had quarters, for everyone, but they rented it, and that way it allowed us to try to pay for the sim in Second Life, the land.
Mm.
When I say we've been there for 18 years, and he mentioned to you earlier, we had 4 sims at one time. Those sims run $200 a month each.
Oh, wow.
And we had 4 at one time. And in fact, a member bought one of the sims for us, and they ran at that time at $1,200. However, then we were stuck with the monthly payment. So we would rent out quarters to try to generate income, and then the marketplace, selling. Members would sell their things that they made. They created uniforms, weapons, furniture. Myself, I wrote a video how to make videos in Second Life, and I sold that. Just a little text download, little text document on how to do videos. So we did generate income to help pay for the sims, but it was never enough to pay for all 4. So over time, we would get rid of a sim here, get rid of a sim there. And then here recently, since our founder, it's 18 years, both of us have gotten much older than when we started. And so we've decided to not have a sim at all. So right now we do have a base. Thank goodness one of our members hooked us up with a great Star Trek location that basically doesn't have a group. It was just something someone built. And so we're using it. And it's working out great for us.
So I have one question, since I've never played Second Life. What do you mean by sim?
Oh, it's like an island. Think of an island. A sim is an island.
Okay.
Yes.
Now,
For better understanding from in regards to Second Life, if you were to relate it towards many of the worlds in VRChat, a sim is basically a world in VRChat, except it is consecutive. It is always online. So you, unlike we who spawn into an empty world every time we come into a world, every time someone spawns into a sim, there's always can be people there. There can be no one there, but they all join in on the same instance. It's a consecutively online. Still,
Yes.
Oh, of course.
Oh, yeah. I
Bill has to go to
you
the
to have a chance to
bathroom.
finish, which is why I was raising my hand.
oh,
Oh, but now that we have you here, similar question I asked her earlier about events and difference between the two. But what happens here in VRChat for the same group?
Well, actually, I can segue right from the sim thing. One of the main differences is every time we leave the starship and come back, it resets to the way that it was before. Whereas in Second Life, you have one instance and it's persistent. Whatever changes you make are there the next time you show back up. Unless there's like a rollback or something. And then there's also the difference in kind of a simple difference, but we use voice here more often than not, whereas in Second Life, it's typically text.
It's more text.
Which makes it a lot easier for record keeping in Second Life than it is here in VRChat. It's one of the important reasons why here in VRChat, when we do our weekly meetings, we then have somebody, typically, usually me, swing into Second Life and report at the weekly meeting there the next day. Our weekly meetings are on Fridays. Their weekly meetings are on Saturdays. On Mondays, we have the Academy Air Corps, and I believe it's on Wednesdays, or is it on Tuesdays?
No,
Wednesdays?
Wednesday. Tuesday is the regular role play, and then Air Corps is on Wednesday.
Yeah, Tuesday's the Ajax, right?
Right, that's correct.
Now, fun fact about the
Longest role
Ajax.
play in Second Life.
Yeah. It's the longest running roleplay in Second Life. How long's it been going for, ma'am?
18 years?
Because I don't have...
Yeah. Oh, wow. That's...
Wow.
You guys hold the title of the longest running roleplay in the platform? Second Life?
Platform?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
wow.
Yes. There's been others, but they're gone now. So 18 years, yeah.
So
every Tuesday.
Oh. Wow. What keeps you guys going for that long?
Well, Cobra Max is over that role play, the Ajax role play, and that's his baby. He does role play every Tuesday.
Oh, wow.
Yes, and we've always had a group regularly meet for that. And then, like I told you, it's really a great out for a lot of people that are limited, or that have to stay home, or that are ill. Over the years, we didn't know some of our members were terminally ill and different things like that. But and then they'll come back, or their family members will come back and tell us when they're gone, how important it was that they be involved and be, had a place that they were supposed to be, and that people were looking for them and expecting them and appreciated their involvement. So.
Okay. So I have another question for both of you, since both of you roleplay in different aspects of the internet. What kind of story has been happening inside of the roleplay, and what kind of key events have happened over time? And that's to both of you. I'm not sure how you want to answer Second Life first, then VRChat. But I'm curious because I'd like to know.
Ours is kind of a short answer. We're getting started. So right now we're just at the forefront. The bun over there is actually the one in charge of our roleplay.
Oh.
Hello again. I was muted apparently.
It's okay.
I was muted. Yes.
Oh.
I'm actually in charge of the roleplay division here in VRChat for Galaxy Elite Command. I originally spoke to you about it on another interview in regards to the Little Renegades before I reverted us back on topic with them. In regards to the roleplays here, we are just getting started. We just got our rules set up and other things, but I wouldn't count the roleplay that's getting started as the only roleplay we've done here in VRChat. Most of what I would consider roleplay or roleplay events have actually been the Kobayashi Marus that we've been taking in regards to our officer advancement. And those are good instances of temporary roleplays or momentary roleplays to see how people react to certain situations and certain advancements and certain challenges that our Starfleet officers will actually have to go.
Okay.
That's actually a really good point.
Yeah, I mean, we've had a few where we've done actual prisoner escapes, prisoner helpings, actual full-on combat fights. We even have a division led by our tactical over here, Maki, who does weekly trainings and stuff like that for our tactical unit. and I would also consider those roleplay situations.
Oh.
So
And
it
that's
really
funny.
depends
Now that's
on the
very
situation.
similar to what we've done too. Is we early in our beginnings we did some prison events, and it was a lot of fun. I remember, and then also we tactical. We've had some fantastic tactical where we actually networked with other Trek groups, and like one, I tell you one that was really silly, but it was just so much fun. Was which team could load into the shuttle and get it up into the sky the fastest? It was like a total comedy watching everybody trying to get into the shuttle.
It's like
with
it's
their
like clowns
avatar.
getting out of a VW. It's like clowns getting out of a VW bug.
Exactly.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
Yep, I understand.
You'd think it would be easy, but it wasn't.
Yeah. Unfortunately, there is a lot of key differences in regards to what Second Life is able to do and what we are able to do. They have entire sims that have been built over the course of 18 years. And we are kind of limited to what we have here in VR or chat. Now, a lot of the worlds we do use have been given into us and created for us by the amazing Renaissance Wolf over there, which we are extremely thankful for. So very much a shout out to him. And we also use a lot of the, of course, we also use a lot of the current assets you would see often played on YouTube through VRChat, like the murder worlds, the prison escape world, all the different game worlds that you see here, including what is that one world where we can get hit by either a tornado or a tsunami? What was that world, Dill?
Rumble, something disaster, something.
Cobra Max! Is that you?
Can somebody get after?
Oh,
and there's another admiral. He
Cobra
joined us.
Max?
Admiral on deck.
Can you talk? You have your mic?
They experienced a fair bit of technical issues getting here at first.
Yeah.
Welcome anyhow. That's good no matter what.
There he is.
There he is.
We can hear you. Can you hear us?
Yes. This is great.
Awesome. Glad you made it. We're being interviewed right now, and that's Julia Lemondrop right next to you.
Yeah.
Would you like some assistance getting suited up, sir? We can try to get you into a uniform.
Can you see yourself?
I don't know. No, I cannot. I cannot. I don't know how to see myself at this point. I think I'm a robot. I think
you are. You are a robot.
Yes, at the moment.
There's a blue button on that right wall over there. I don't know if you're able to go over there and touch that blue button.
With how much he's lagging, that might not be a good idea. Because he's lagging walking around. Yeah, the mirrors are very lag-inducing for lower end.
Oh, are they? Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
All right.
As you can tell, we have our admirals coming in for the first time into VRChat just for the interview itself. So,
oh wow,
it's gonna be interesting.
Well, thank you for joining us.
So, Cobrabacks, he was asking about roleplay and what are some of the things you do in roleplay. Why don't you elaborate on that?
Oh, I'd be more than happy to. You know, roleplay, as we played it in Second Life many years ago, is freeform. So what I did was I had people choose their character and rank all the way up to captain. They couldn't be captain because I was the captain. So we started like that. I mean, people would choose they'd be a lieutenant, or they'd be a lieutenant commander, or they'd be an ensign or something like that. And we'd play. Ajax roleplay was always aboard the Ajax, and Ajax as a ship started out as a Defiant class, and later on we moved the Ajax to a galaxy class, and ultimately we ended up
Oh, my.
as a sovereign class. You know, but it was always on the bridge, and we always had people able to contribute to the chat, and I just kind of shepherded the event through the 1 hour role play that we had allocated, and we had a barrel of fun. And here lately, in the past few years, we decided that we would try to replay some of the scripts that, for example, the original series. Like right now, we're running through Charlie X, and we're building sets as we need them and whatever we need. And as long as we have enough people there, we'll go through whatever character that the person has decided that they want to be.
Oh. So, since you're the one who runs the role play for everything over at Second Life, what have been some of your favorite role play moments over the years?
You wanna hit up the arcade after this?
We've kind of played every arcade game like a million times.
Yeah.
What about the record store?
They didn't get anything new in this week.
Seems like there's like nothing to do.
Hey kids, heard you all need a little bit of fun in your lives.
What the hell are you?
Oh, I'm Letty, and I'm here to show you two Improv.
Improv? Isn't that for nerds?
Listen, you and you are both here in VRChat. That makes you and you nerds. So, allow me to take you all to Skins and Bits Improv.
Oh God! What the hell just happened?
Welcome to Skins and Bits Improv, a fun, welcoming, and creative community, all surrounded about the basis of improv.
Hey Robert, I've heard you're bored of the soup.
Yes, and actually, oh my God, this is so much soup! Jesus Christ!
Whoa, whoa.
I'm not ever gonna get used to that. I'm gonna be sick.
And we host improv workshops available to all skill levels every Saturday at 6 p.m. Eastern. So come join us.
Lottie, you can't be just teleporting and ruining the scene like that.
Oh, don't worry, I got that covered. Allow me. No.
What the hell was that?
This is where we host our shows every last Saturday of each month, 6 p.m. Eastern. Check out how we perform.
You have to stop doing that!
Change!
You have to keep doing that?
And we produce our own short films, sketches, and skits.
Wait, what the hell's a skit?
All right. We're in a skit right now. That's right. So, come and join us, everyone. But do note that this group is meant for ages 18 years or older. So y'all little kids, get out of here. Go, bye. Sayonara, go, bye. So, what do you think about joining us for improv?
You know, the existential dread of teleportation isn't really all that horrible.
Join us for improv today. Skins and Bits.
We had a really cool moment in one of the freeform role plays that we played. That there was the now I'm sort of forgetting the names of the race that we were confronting, but I believe it came out of Star Trek Online. It was a very advanced race, and they had other races wanting to get their technology, and when they didn't, then these races banded together and attacked them. Maybe somebody can help me recall what that was.
The ones that mean
but
the Dyson sphere.
I'm familiar with them. They were referred to as the ghosts of air and darkness.
Yeah, that's it. Who is it? Oh man. Yeah,
There
they had
was
this
a-
transport capability. Yeah.
They were originally from Next Generation. They were mentioned in Star Trek Voyager 2 briefly. It's a word for Ren.
You're talking about the
coming up with
Iconians?
it? Iconians. Yes.
Iconians.
The Iconians.
Yeah, that's it.
got
That's it.
You got the
Leave
big
it to
door
Ren.
prize, man. Very nice. Thank you so much. So anyway, yeah, we were up against the Iconians because what we had decided was that the Iconians, that some of them had actually survived the attack, and they were just in the planet was shattered. And you remember the shattered planet that they had in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. when they had in one of their later episodes, they had the Earth was shattered. So I took that picture and I used that as the shattered Iconian planet. We said that deep inside one of the shattered remnants of that planet, there was a secret base the Iconians had been building, and they had been building a super weapon. And this super weapon was a sentient ship that was so powerful that it would wreak vengeance upon all those that had assembled against the Iconians to destroy them. But there was a counterattack just seconds before they were able to activate their super weapon, and so the technician who was running across the laboratory, secret laboratory, they had to press the button to activate the super weapon. He was killed in a girder that came and from the ceiling, and it fell on him and killed him just seconds before he could touch the button to activate the super weapon. So now the super weapon was still in sleep mode for all these centuries, for all these eons. I mean, who knows how much time, I can't remember how much time, how many centuries ago the Iconians, were in empire. So all that time, this super weapon was in sleep mode. And so finally, now we come along and we start, and our, Starfleet scientists, they start to, they have discovered this. And so they start to meddle as usual, and whenever they start to tinker with it, then they start to accidentally, they started to activate it. And so then we had all kinds of adventures trying to keep it from activating, and we ended up using a bunch of Vulcans to do a mental defense to try to get it to go back into sleep mode. And so we had one scene there where we had those races who are telepathically, capable, and a bunch of Vulcans who also were in on this, and we were all focusing on the container that held all the mental components of this sentient starship. And it was the most I still have a picture somewhere. I'm gonna have to dig it up because we struggled for a bit trying to figure out, the action, the physical action of the hands and arms, to make an animation that would look like we were trying to project a mental block towards this this extremely intelligent sentient starship. So one of the most exciting things, I'm trying to verbally describe something that we role played, actually building sets and building the drama and building the script that goes into all of that.
In addition to that, they also utilize entire Second Life, and some of the role plays are a away mission to, let's say, an island where we're going to go jet ski, or if we're going to go to another place where we're just a scavenger hunt. We would visit different locations and together explore them. And that's always in between. It's sort of like a break where you, instead of being so serious in the role play, maybe one day we just actually go and visit an away mission, away from the ship, maybe time off, but hang out together and explore.
Okay.
Speaking of away missions, we've had a few instances where we're considered a metaversal entity within the VRChat metaverse as a whole. We have some away missions where we'll go and negotiate with other groups that roleplay as part of the metaverse and as part of the greater metaverse, like for example Cerberus Megacorp. They're, canonically speaking, are dilithium dealers, because we showed them more efficient ways to process and refine the dilithium that they use in their own fleet. Dilithium's one of those.
That's thinking
I
outside
hadn't
the
mentioned.
box. I like that.
Is that Second Life? A lot of times, we were utilized, our group and our sims, by major corporations. That when they wanted to introduce people to Second Life, they would actually come to the Trek sim, because we had big signs about no nudity and no profanity, or we had rules in our sims, and it was kind of like a safe place. There was no shooting. We were able to set the sim rules where people could not use weapons and things of that nature. And then our security was always great for evicting people if they, let's say we're having an event like this and someone is disrupting. We had our security officers who were responsible for evicting them. They were always happy to do so.
Our security officers ready to go.
Yes.
The one that likes to have his toes nice and polished, he does it himself. That's what he's told me.
I mean,
Wait, you got that security officer to speak?
Yeah, I did. I did.
That's what
My bad.
In this particular VR chat that I really love about coming here with you guys, because when I go to, let's say, the court here in VR, it's so unorganized.
That's
just
a public
amazingly unorganized.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a public world. We try to stay away from those.
Very public, very uncontrolled. Most of the places I've been to are so untamed. It's important to have a tamed environment, because it allows corporate and the big companies a place to go. If they go into untamed places like that, they can't really see the value in how they can control it, especially since it appears that it's being controlled by children, and I don't think they're children. I think a lot of them are adults.
Which is one of the main reasons why.
Go ahead. That's kind of the big difference between Second Life and VRChat. Unlike with Second Life, that has a lot of corporations and a lot of funds and stuff going through Second Life, and a lot of big corporations that are willing to fund in certain roleplay aspects and roleplay groups. VRChat doesn't really have that, as it's more of a completely different platform and a newer platform compared to Second Life itself. So when corporations look at Second Life, they're more looking at us, the roleplay instances, instead of the public world. So that will kind of explain what you've seen.
One of the reasons we ended up with that, however, though, is education. And I think I was going to mention that to Delinian. I think Captain Delinian is that I think here that it's something you should consider as like the Academy. That's a great place to start. But just having some kind of VR education, if you have some kind of VR education, it's a really open spot for that. That's what a lot of the corporations are interested in, is education. Yes.
Well, this was going to be a bit of a surprise unveiling, but for the biannual ball. But Captain Ren has been actually working with a lot of us here over at GFC with his own group, Ren's VR Furs. They've been hard at work creating for our biannual ball what was it? The word just went right out of my head because
assembly hall.
Assembly hall.
Yeah. So I've got a build that I've done that's more of a star base than it is a starship, sort of a general way to organize everybody from Star Trek groups. And it's had a large lounge and areas where I have basically a special plaque for everybody that I've done a starship for, and most recently I'm working on the assembly hall.
The auditorium.
Oh, my headset froze.
No.
Uh-oh. Yeah.
So you guys have a biannual, have a ball coming up?
We do.
Yeah.
December 14th.
Yes, we do.
Oh, wow.
I've been to like 2 of them so far. Maybe 3 now?
Yeah.
This will be our third one.
Coming up on the 3rd.
Yeah, this will be our 3rd one. Yeah,
we try to get the schedule similar to the Second Life biannual ball, but we don't want to do it on the same date that Second Life does theirs.
Hey, we appreciate that.
That way we don't have overlapping schedules. We want people to be able to go to both the core GFC events and the VR GFC events.
Well, I definitely am interested in those, but I do know on the 14th I'm going to be doing something else. So I probably won't be able to participate on the 14th. I already know that.
So I heard on the grapevine you guys were interested in a lot of the origins.
Yes. So a lot of so for the origins of the group, what initially started it to begin with, and how and why branch out into VRChat as well from Second Life?
Do you want to take this one, Fleet Admiral, or should I?
I'll just say quickly that it was just our Star Trek interest, and that gave us a connection to be friends for 18 years and work on this and plot on this together. And VRChat, I was already in VR and using my Oculus and things of that nature, and Julian Lemondrop and Delanian in particular brought it to our attention that he has, he's working on building a Star Trek world here. And he would report at the meetings and let us know what was going on and some of the advancements and things of that nature. And things that he was excited about, you guys expanding and getting a greater membership and things of that nature. And it sounded a lot like us, which was really exciting. Just so you know, GFC has had over 1,000 members, at least. way over that.
Oh wow.
Over the years, there's always attrition where you're losing members, but and I expect you to continue to grow like that too, and have more members, and you have that one little thread that kind of pulls you together is that sci-fi interest, and then the technological part. So
With
it's
the
just
VR branch, it started off as what I put forth. I titled the Barkley proposal, named for well, Reginald Barkley, and his whole interest with Voyager and his whole expedition to try to locate Voyager. Well, I wanted to look into a new sector for us because Core GFC had lost a few sims and there were some financial questions. There was a Forge of the Future group going forth and doing regular meetings to chart the future of the group. I sat in on many of those meetings to try to touch base with and get in touch with other members and to better understand the full situation. So I put forth the Barkley proposal, which turned into the Barkley Expedition. And I was given permission by the Admiralty to set up a group here in VRChat representing Galaxy Fleet Command. Over time, that small group, which was originally a small outpost, was given a green light. We were told that there had been other attempts at similar things, such as Open Sim, which was a similar to Second Life platform, but it didn't have the financial backing that a lot of the builders needed. Because for a lot of people, Second Life is not just a game, but also a source of income. A lot like it is for creators here in VRChat. Avatar makers, texture workers.
For clarification in regards to Second Life and stuff, Second Life, beyond everything, costs things to run. Like the Sims that normal GFC runs, as said earlier, costs about $200 a month just to stay online. So a lot of Second Life and Second Life creators rely on the money to keep their projects alive. And a lot of funds are actually spent there. Back in the past, in Second Life, people could even, through their creations and stuff, literally pay for their rent, their bills, their food, based on Second Life. Now, Second Life has declined over the years because of this, and because of, well, it's a over 25-year-old game, from my understanding.
No. They're only a year older than we are. They're 19
so about
or 20.
19, 20,
They might be
20 years. Yeah. So, and in regards to that, a lot of the financial troubles that GFC goes through, we don't often see here in VRChat. The most we personally will pay for is a complete world's creation itself, or our avatar's creation. We'll buy avatars from markets, Gumroad, or booth, or wherever you want to buy your personal avatars or avatar creators. That's what we spend. We don't spend as much as some Second Life instances do. Now, I may be wrong. I've had different experiences on Second Life. But I've seen people spend hundreds to thousands of dollars in regards to that just for the creation of a single world, which is similar here. The only difference is we pay for it once, they pay for it continuously.
Right. Which
that monthly fee.
I wrote a.
Yeah, the
I
monthly
have a book.
fee.
I have a book on for sale. This is commercial on
goodness.
Amazon, and it's creating a VR world and I write about Second Life. And that's one of the things I warn about in the back of the book, is that you pay, and you never stop paying. And try to avoid worlds like that.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Ashford, did you had your hand up from my understanding? Did you have something you want to ask
so
or
did-
add?
Cobra had
Oh.
a comment.
Oh, Cobra.
Cobra?
I don't know. I don't know how to put my hand up yet, so I'm sorry.
We'll go around.
Let me,
Go ahead, Cobra.
I just wanted to tell you a bit of a funny story that involves the early beginnings of GFC and Second Life, and it goes back about 20 years. And Jessica, she was there too. She knows all about it. It's because
Julian.
early on, or Julianne Lemondrop. I'm sorry. Yeah, sorry, I used her original name. But so the story is that early on, the fleet admiral and myself, we started out with one of the first groups in Second Life to be Star Trek, which is Starfleet Command, and we actually it was a sleepy little group of about 14 people, and about the most exciting thing that they did was in chat, somebody would start saying greetings, and then everybody'd be greetings, and that was about it. So we, the fleet admiral and myself, we invigorated the group and started doing role plays. I started doing a lot of the early Ajax role plays aboard the Defiant class ship. But so the story is, though, that because of the structure of groups and so on, it led to a lot of trouble and infighting and so on. There was one character who had the rank of captain, and in a very public setting, in a sandbox, this person, apparently in real life he was drunk and just, started carrying on something awful in chat, in public chat, and really said some bad things about a lot of different people, and did a bunch of ethnic slurs and slurs against, furries and things like that. And so we found out about it. So we court-martialed them. So during the court-martial, we really did. We got out. We set up a court, and we had a judge and all that, and we had people, giving testimony, and the guy was there standing around and making, smart aleck comments, and finally, he just kind of walked out of the trial and walked across the street to the parcel of land that we had the academy on. And yeah, we really had an academy going there, and Jessica, Admiral Lemondrop, she was an instructor at that academy at the time. And so what this captain did was he went across the street and he started a fire. And of course, in Second Life, you start an object that's flaming, right? Well, he set fire to the academy, and so that became known as the night the academy burned. Because he, that we didn't know how to put them out. There was just fires raging all over the academy. And it was a big thing. People were logging in to see what was going on, and people were wanting to call the Lindens. They called the Linden and said, we got this, we don't know how to put the fires out, and all that stuff. It was a crazy thing, because that was at the very beginning of Second Life. So early on we had that, eventually we were able to get rid of the guy, but, it was the most exciting thing that ever happened, I think, in the group up to that point, the night the academy burned.
We had all kinds of witnesses coming in, even fake witnesses to testify against this guy.
Yeah. For those wondering, the Lindens are actually basically the admins of Second Life. They're known as Lindens. better after that
And their
of the
money is
company
called
Linden
Lindens
Labs.
as well. Yes.
Yeah. It's
Thank you.
we call the money L or Lindens. Either way it works.
Linden.
All right. Let's get to the ones that had their hand up. We'll go around.
So, yeah. I was gonna point out about the whole, not only like the corporations and that, as you were mentioning, but about the whole paying into it essentially over and over. Like, since we lack that whole aspect here in VRChat, we have a lot more freedom with what we can actually like spend time on. We have a lot more freedom of essentially what we want to do. Like, we don't have to worry about keeping something running. We don't have to worry about keeping up with some sort of bills to keep the community going. It instead, we can just focus on letting the community entertain itself, thrive, grow, and just do what community does best.
Good point.
That isn't to say we don't pass a hat around to support our creators.
That
Of
is
course.
But
Yeah,
Captain
but
Ren does a
I should say
lot
though
by-
that we didn't really worry about money very much because Cobra carried us for the 18 years. It's just in the last year, maybe. Yeah, really, just in the last year that he finally said he's not going to do it anymore. And that's when it kind of hit us reality. You know, we always were building and trying to bring in revenue, but it never really was enough to support fully. But we didn't worry because Cobra Max always carried the group. And that's one reason people have come back and our group has been so sturdy is a lot of people have left and come back. You know, their life changes. We've had people who've gotten married and divorced within the 18 years. They were very busy with us when they were single, and then they came back when they got single again. You know, it's been a life thing with a lot of people. And they come back and they're always surprised that we're still there, you know, but they're glad we're still there because it's kind of a foundation for them.
What was it you called me, sir? The Harry Kim of GFC?
Who is that? You?
Me. Because I was a lieutenant since 2010.
Yeah. And
You had
Oh,
that
yes.
and
distinction,
that's
Oh, yeah.
yeah. And that's something I wanted to bring up too. Like, because of that whole freedom, whenever I hear like the stories that our captain tell about core GFC, and even hearing all these stories now, a very shining difference that stands out to me at the very least is at the very least it seems to have been that core GFC was a lot more focused on the roleplay aspect and having their characters, whereas over here we tend to be a little more free and a little more kind of letting it flow almost. Like at least with my schedule, it well, we haven't really had the opportunity to have a lot of non-Kobayashi Maru roleplay sessions, admittedly.
That will change very soon.
Hand up.
That will change very soon. Things are getting started very quickly. I'm making sure of that.
Yeah.
I am on that one.
Yeah, but even beyond that, sorry.
Oh, sorry.
But
Uh-oh.
What
But
are
even
you doing,
beyond
throwing
that,
the camera
like,
at him? What the hell?
The camera at
but
you.
even beyond that,
Oh.
we have like all of these little side events just to make sure everyone has time to just interact with each other, even if it is like non role play, even if it is just having fun as a group, like. Like Blue here
Well, if you
has
think about it,
hosted
we're
a lot
actually
of
role playing right now. We're role playing that we're on a ship and that we're being interviewed
Oh my goodness.
and
That is
we're
true.
Star Trek officers.
Yeah, I mean, so but yeah, so like Blue, for example, has hosted a lot of different events and just a lot to kind of try to give people the chance to get to know each other just as people as well within the group. It might be easier for her to talk about it as well.
Right now.
Not right now.
Just throw the shyest person in front of the camera.
Lion Turtle Martino had her hand up over here.
I mean, there's people that still have their hands up. I mean, okay. You can come back to me.
Okay.
To add on to what the cadet was talking about when it comes to freedom, in my experience, role plays have been around in VR for as long as it's been up for, right? When I hear about Second Life, I think more monetary, a bit more like you can just go away from your computer and come back to it anytime, when you're off of work, stuff like that. But in VR, people are on here almost every day. This is their life. And you can also make monetary gain from here if you are a creator, like it was mentioned before, though you're a bit more free-flowing because you get to talk to the people that you're making business with. I mean, you could probably do it in real life if you were in Second Life, but on VR it's a lot more accessible. As for role plays, it's a bit, well, not a bit, it's a whole lot more engaging, a whole lot more immersive, because I have seen people make extraordinary avatars to add on to the immersion of what they're doing. So like Star Wars, Warhammer, Star Trek, just to name a few. And there's a lot more out there. I have seen people actually join together with making avatars that are a mixture of Star Wars, Warhammer, or Star Trek, like armor sets, weapons. It would be sort of like a joint op type thing, where they would just combine the different universes and their utilities, their weapons, and they would make it something else, which is really amazing. Not only role plays on VRChat, but people have actually made milsims as well. Milsims is military simulations. Military simulations have been in VR for as long as it's been around, I can only assume, because milsims exist in real life as well. The use on VR for milsims is extremely beneficial because in tactical and GFC, we don't just teach our tactical personnel how to roleplay, but we teach them how to actually conduct themselves in a setting or scenario that they might find themselves in if they were to be in a roleplay, so they know what they're doing in that roleplay, so that they don't just pull things out of their rear end and possibly make a fool of themselves. That's what we teach our tactical personnel in tactical division. I could give examples, but we would be here all night. But role plays in milsims, they have their place, especially in VR. It's a lot more accessible because LARPing, that costs money. In VR, we get to LARP for free. And since the immersion aspect is here, we can pretty much be whatever we want. We can do whatever we want. We can be furries in VR. We can be Star Trek furs. We can be Star Wars furs. We can be ourselves, and we can still have fun. We can, there's nothing else I can really say when it comes to that.
I've got a great picture in my ready room about one of the joint ops between Galaxy Fleet Command and our friends over in the Star Wars community. I can talk, I swear.
Don't let them hear you say that.
That statement will make some fans
Oh,
mad.
yeah, you're gonna get some knocking on the door on that one.
Well, let them knock. The 501st will answer.
Okay, no problem. Okay, I'm not gonna go there.
Hey, we got friends over in the Star Wars community.
I got
Some of
you.
the best milsim that I've ever met or ever seen. And a lot of them have joined our tactical crew.
Oh, wow.
Yes, indeed.
Let them knock.
Hey,
501st
Ash,
know how to
go
handle
ahead.
themselves. They'll answer for me.
Ash, all
So,
right.
GFC has made an alliance with the Star Wars group that I lead called the 501st Legion. There are many others like it, but this one is mine. Just want to clarify. I don't run the 501st. There are a lot of other Star Wars groups. But yes, in the 501st, I am Commander Goose. I've been doing this for 3 years already, roleplays and milsims alike. I joined in 21 of September. I didn't get into roleplay until much later, in early spring of 2022. It was not long after, maybe a few months or a year later, that we had made an alliance with GFC, and ever since we had been doing joint operations, joint trainings. One of them which we had recently was the most recent that I can remember. Basically, we're going up against a tyrannical empire, foreshadowing all that stuff. And we were trying to get everyone into one room so that we can formulate a plan of how we can get, like, rebel cells from one place to another safely or smuggle them off the planet. We had fun with that because there was a lot of people that actually wanted to roleplay. There's a lot of people that wanted to show their milsim prowess as well when it comes to weapon proficiency or squad tactics or just tactics in general. And yeah, we had a lot of fun with that.
Wait, was that the one that got sniped in the head?
I
Was that
think
the one
so.
that got sniped? Yeah, I got sniped.
Also, when it comes to VRChat, our avatars, certain avatars have weapon toggles on them, which adds even more to the immersion. So for, say, clones, if we don't actually have weapons in the actual world that it's bound to, we have weapons on our person, on our avatars, to toggle on to use. We can be whatever we want, from knives to the well, Iasaron, perhaps, maybe the firing my laser guy. It ranges
Captain
from
Law.
like,
Captain.
it ranges from simple stuff to just out of this world brain rot, really. But the ones that we would use in our roleplays would pertain to the universe that we're in. So blasters for clones and phasers for GFC personnel. And also in worlds that have them, there is combat worlds that we can go to, whether it be Avatar PvP for Avatar weapons or 2.0 or 3.0 combat SDKs, which we would actually have weapons in the world ready for us to use. All of them are very unique. Some combat SDKs are better than others in certain aspects, but yeah, that's pretty much what we use for joint operations or trainings that we'll do in tactical or joint trainings we do with GFC and the 501st.
Okay. I'm going to turn the camera to someone over here who has their hand raised.
How about Ash? Ash has had their hand up long enough. I think he's permanently looked like a statue, and he's trying to work himself out of it. Well, Pearl, one of the two, any of those two.
Well, going back on the where SL, they were saying they were teaching on there and everything. There are classes that even happen on VRChat, so VRChat's not too different from Second Life, where you can learn things on here too.
We actually interviewed one of the people that do that teach Japanese right here in VRChat. Aya does that to add to your point.
Yeah.
Cool. And I think security also has a thing.
Yeah, I did want
They're
to
a
cycle
statue
back
now.
onto monetization of items in Second Life and VRChat. In my away missions and my scouting missions out in the world, I've come across Casio. The watch company actually has a world here and is selling product in VRChat and has links to the actual product.
Oh wow. That's wild.
Okay.
And I continue to see more and more like prospective worlds showing up for larger corporations selling their product, peddling their product inside VRChat. And like Casio, they actually have a product that you can purchase for your avatar that synchronizes through OSC and actually shows your time in world.
That's nuts. That's cool.
That's crazy.
Wait, really?
That's cool.
Yeah.
There has been a push in the last few years. There is actually some conventions that have been held trying to draw in outside companies.
Well, there's also like VRCat.
VCat?
Oh yeah, VRCat does exist.
There's VRCat.
VCat, yeah.
VCat, yeah.
Virtual market.
Yeah.
Yep.
Um,
I've got a question for Son. Son, have you ever thought of pulling your setup that you've worked for so long and done so far for so many years, Son, into VR as a conversion into the Star Trek setup?
Whose son?
You.
Oh, Sonny. Oh,
Sunshine.
yeah,
you're not. We
I'm
need
using
to
the
break
search-
apart
I was
names
looking
here.
around trying to read
I'm
everybody's
sorry.
name, trying to figure out who is son. Who is son?
Yeah, Sunshine. I'm sorry, my bad.
Yeah, that's okay. The conversion into VR. I would like to clarify. 20 years ago, Second Life is VR. It's virtual reality, and it's still VR.
Okay.
The difference is this is VRChat. It's another, program. But it is a virtual reality world. It's considered virtual reality.
Yeah, I got you
Yes.
there. But have you ever thought of taking your guys' stuff that you've changed and done in the years that you've done it and move it into VR chat? Is what I'm getting at. All your knowledge and everything else, pulling it into reality here.
We consider ourselves a part of VRChat through this group here. We consider ourselves this group. We're part of this group. We know we will never be fully in VRChat, and part of the reason is just our membership. Some people have eye problems. They're not going to be able to use an Oculus, or they might not be ready to learn a new program. In Second Life, you got to learn how to walk and do things like you do here. And there's just some people their equipment might not be able to get over here. So we'll probably never be fully here for sure, I don't think. But we're happy in Second Life, actually, where we are right now. The sim that we're on is awesome, and it's beautiful, and we have full use of it for the things we like to do. So
Core
we
GFC will be around in Second Life for as long as their servers are running.
probably.
Yeah. If I may, I can actually help in regards to this answer, in regards to transferring things from Second Life. Now, in regards to Second Life and building things inside Second Life and VRChat, there's a very large and very clear difference. We here in VRChat, we're so used to Blender, and we're used to uploading everything through Unity itself to be able to get these things into VRChat. The Second Life does have more recently more Blender capabilities, but it wasn't always like that. The more Blender capabilities has actually appeared in the last 5 to 6 years. Second Life, into things called meshes and bentos and stuff like that. Dill can answer me if I'm incorrect there, of course.
Well, actually, I was going to elaborate on it. VRChat has a bit more capability in terms of textures than Second Life has, and they're just starting to use the albedo layer.
That is true. They've only just started doing that in Second Life, haven't they?
The reason for that is just Second Life is an older, what's the word? What's the
older system?
Platform?
An older program.
platform?
Yeah, there we go.
It runs on, what was it that it runs on again? You mentioned it earlier.
I can look it up. Give me a second. I'm looking this up.
It was mentioned earlier. Yeah, it was an old. It's basically a customized Havoc engine, but they've gone through so many modifications and updates to it, in order to try to modernize it and so on. Back when Second Life was first put out, you couldn't even use mesh. It was all basic shapes, colored and painted to look like stuff.
I found it.
Then it was Sculpties, which were rudimentary mesh that were basically like using clay pots. And then actual mesh with mesh maps, basic, very rudimentary mesh maps, compared to what you see in Blender and Unity nowadays. But that's just because it's older software. It's had to upgrade over the years, and Linden Lab has been doing a very good job at updating it every so often, trying to keep things current. It's not easy.
Yeah, it unfortunately does use a very older system. There has been some talk since Amazon now has the open source Lumberyard, but Second Life uses a system literally called Open 3D Engine. They use a very, very old system that doesn't really work well with Blender. So, say our worlds, we have assets that we can take from Blender, throw it into Unity, and it will work. Or we take objects out of Unity, we can convert them into 3D files in Blender, edit those files specifically, and re-upload them to Blender to create personal avatars, personal creations of our certain worlds. Our avatars are basically who we are. We're able to go back and forth. Now, in regards to Second Life, you can't do that. In fact, it is virtually hard and a lot of mess ups because you have actually. The best way I can explain it is like trying to rip a model from a current engine game and trying to stuff it into like a PlayStation game. Essentially. Yeah. The models just won't work, and you can't transfer those models out of the game because Second Life doesn't have the ability for you to take those models in the game and pull them out. It becomes this very own unique type of object and mesh. So it becomes impossible for you to convert the files or to convert the objects from Second Life to be able to bring them
without
to
even
VRChat.
getting into intellectual property.
Yeah, intellectual property. Everything in Second Life and Linden Labs are under Creative Commons and have their own copyrights. It becomes a very big legal and technological. So
It wasn't always like that.
that is true. So unfortunately, we wouldn't
originally
be able
we
to
could
bring it
own our
out.
stuff, but then they changed the terms
Yeah.
of service. So that's
Yeah.
why a lot of people actually left Second Life too. Is that
Yeah.
the terms of services were changed where they own what you make in Second
Yeah.
Life.
And that
Which brings
also
us
is a
to-
big issue, unfortunately. So even then, you still can't rip objects out of Second Life and bring them here. So as the Landian did say, as long as the Second Life servers are up, there will be GFC inside Second Life as long as we can manage.
Well, I'm also going to pass over the person
What
who
was
has
that?
the hand raised also.
Yeah, I wanted to add a little bit to what was said about how GFC will never be just VRChat or just Second Life and all that. I mean, obviously, assuming in the future there's some new VR game, new social platform, or whichever that allows for the community to grow, obviously, given the opportunity, we probably would try to expand into it. Like, in that aspect, we will always be very spread on platforms.
Okay.
It just, at least in today's very digital society, that seems at least like a very inevitable step.
So, I have another question for everybody as well. If one was to join your group, what would the process be like, and what would they expect from joining? Hello, I'm here to interrupt your current video. Ask you a favor. Down in the description, down that way, is a link, metaversedegen.card.co, which you have a whole bunch of other places. If you wish to continue following us, we have Twitter, which I run for us, which you get updates and other stuff and random thoughts from me. We have a Discord where Raptor, I, and the entire crew and all the other people we know will be over there hanging out. We game there fairly regularly or hang out in there, so feel free to go over that way and come chat with us. We'd love to meet you. We have a Spotify now, surprise. So if you wish to watch it there or listen to it there, it'll be there for you as well. Also, we have a Patreon, which we have a whole other show, which we haven't been keeping up with, but we're doing our best. But we have a whole other show there for you as well. We would like to give a huge thanks to some of our supporters over that way, which is Future Oracle, Aliquum, Niche, and Forbidden Zero, all of which we thank you very much for everything, and hopefully we'll see you around and you continue to enjoy the content. Enjoy the current video. Oh boy.
We have a personnel division, and they're usually introduced to the group, just basic information about the sim and what they can and cannot do, and they usually can do anything they want to do other than break the rules. And then we supply them with the uniform and some equipment when they first join. And invite them to the academy. And then when they go through the academy, they move up in rank. So that's the initial process. We have never left our membership open where a person can automatically just join. We always wanted to have a little filtering system where we interviewed them and welcomed them to the group, and that's worked for us, actually. So sometimes it takes a minute to get invited into the group.
Okay.
And then once they're in the group, then we have another 12 groups or so, because there's a security group, there's a personnel group, there's headquarters, command. For anybody that's over a division is in the command group. And that only allows for communication to those groups only if you want to. Instead of interrupting the entire body to hear a conversation, So that's the introduction process to the group. It's just basically we bring them in through personnel, and then we send them off to the academy, and then the academy requires that they go through medical, and we do have a little process through the medical that they go through. And
okay.
I think the best person to really answer that question for the VR side would be standing right over there. Don't look at Maki. I'm talking about you.
Me?
To your left.
Yeah. So I just joined a few weeks ago. I first came and attended a open group instance and started talking to people and stuff. And at that point, I had actually been considering and trying to find this group before then. But at that time, I decided I would like to get trained and become part of this. So they set me up with going through basic training. Within a week, I got notified of the training and my date, and I went through that. And after I went through training, I got my rank of crewman second class, and then I got to choose divisions and people that I work with. I started talking with Lessa and Yami. They are my direct supervisors, and I've just been participating and hanging out with the group since then, learning the ropes.
So if someone was
We
to...
have a...
Oh, sorry.
Well, I was just going to elaborate that we have divisions dedicated to both the academy classes and going through and helping people find the right division for themselves, along with Xenoscience, who can help anybody who's looking for an avatar. Our actual Xenoscientists are right over there. Those two.
Cool.
Yeah. Our medical lead, who handles uniform distribution, is sitting on the couch next to the Admiralty, along with Sybil to my left, along with several other interested members who are currently working under them, going forward.
Oh.
Sybil is... They keep calling themselves my secretary, but they're my second in command. They're my number one.
Wow.
So they help out. Like, they've been helping out in all of the different divisions to the point where I feel like I have to brag for them because they would never do so themselves. Humble to a fault. But they've been helping out all the different leads and all the different divisions, especially the academy, medical. I believe they've even dabbled over in Xenoscience, and Xenoscience's goal is to help people find avatars that suit them, that help them fit. We want to make sure people have that right avatar, that right look that feels correct. And while they won't help them make the purchase, they will help them locate the materials. So if you want to buy something, you're going to have to buy it yourself, but Xenoscience will help you locate where to do so.
Just help you find that right avatar to express who you are.
And medical will help you get it in a Starfleet uniform.
Yes. Okay.
So, and the academy will help you make it feel like the right uniform. Make it. Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry. You're about to ask something.
Oh, I was gonna say what happens at the academy. That was gonna be my question.
Honora, what happens at the academy?
A lot of teaching. Very much
That
a
was
lot
simple.
of teaching and.
I'll answer your question.
Yeah.
Fair.
Teaching. Well, I know there's one thing they get down pat.
I also do a little bit of pre-screening. Whoa.
For a crew that feel like they're still in high school, raising their hand to go to the bathroom, and nobody's left yet. I'll figure that one out. But hey, at least they're working together. That's the good thing.
Oh, okay. So, from most another question as well for you, and those over at Second Life, how do you feel? What do you think of everything spreading over in your VR chat and the thing you've been working on for 18 years over there, functioning in a new platform?
I think it's great. I love my Oculus, so I'm real happy with it. I'm thrilled. I've been trying to get Cobra Max over here. I'm glad you guys did this so you could finally get him in here.
Oh.
Well, Cobra, you're in here like there were some of us that are stiffies. You'll enjoy every inch of it, no matter what. You don't have to have gear to be in here. That's what's the great part of it.
Oh.
And we're also
No.
really proud of our roots.
Indeed.
I started out in Second Life back in 2009 as a very confused crewman second class, getting thrown into a position that I was completely unfit for at the time. Jiris had just left GFC temporarily, and the tactical division handed me the keys and said, "Here, your turn."
Oh.
Meanwhile, I'm over there sitting with a uniform that's entirely the wrong size, as somebody who just graduated from the academy, being told, "Hey, you're now lead of this division." And it caused a bit of an uproar. People were not happy. But I was the only active tactical officer, so there was nobody else really who wanted to do it. But I got a mentor. I was then, after being an assistant lead for a while, after being acting lead for a while, was put through officer training, which is, for a lot of people, the next step. Not everybody. It has more to do with leadership potential, and if you've got recommendation from one of your leads on to going into it, if you've got the right mentality for it, because some people, they don't want the pressure, they don't want the responsibility, and it's not right for them. But for the people who want to take care of others and lead, the next step is to go through the officer training course, OTS. 5 classes ending in what we've been referring to unofficially as the Kobayashi Maru. Because it's a practical exam. And it's just to observe the leadership skills in their use. We put people through a high-pressure situation, and yeah, it was modeled after the same situation that I went through back when I was taking OTS back in Second Life.
Oh.
We've modeled...
And each one's different.
Everything we do after Core GFC. We've had to make our modifications because there are things that are different. There are things that we've run into that Core GFC never had to deal with. And then there's things that Core GFC had to deal with that aren't an issue over here. We don't have to worry so much about people venturing into secure sections because we have a different instance anytime we need one. Whatever mess they make in whatever hotel room they go to gets deleted when they leave. We start a new ship every time. We don't have to worry about people making scribbles on the walls. We don't have to worry about their graffiti. In Second Life, somebody makes a mess, somebody has to clean the mess up. So there's rules based around that.
Okay.
But difference in the medium and all that good stuff. But we're also very, very proud of our origins. One of the reasons why we try to use as much material from Second Life as possible. The other reason is it's already been made, so why reinvent the wheel?
Okay.
We have our logo. We're Galaxy Fleet Command. It's right behind you. Thanks again, Ren.
Yeah, no problem. Build Star Trek stuff's what I do.
So I have another question for everyone as well. As people start ranking up and going through the motions and the steps of stepping up, what does each range symbolize, and what is expected of you as you work your way up the ranks?
Accolade is the main thing.
Hmm.
The further you go in the ranks, the longer you've been in the group, and essentially the more responsibility is expected of you. Or rather, not so much is expected of you, but what's the best way to really put it?
Is entrusted to you.
Is entrusted. There we go. Thank you.
Victory
My crew's the best. They know what I'm thinking without me having to put it to words.
Second in command.
Oh. Maybe we should just officially name our first officer. Who knows?
I've already done so. This is my first officer.
She just keeps calling herself the secretary.
It honestly hasn't sunken in yet.
But the other thing about ranking up is it's a good sign that somebody's been part of the group for a while, that they've been entrusted with things in the past, and they've followed through. Like, for example, Yo-Yo is currently working on a huge document in xenoscience, and it's going to be this big thing, and he's made progress over it over the course of several months. He's making a database, basically, of all sorts of different avatars in the hopes that it can help other people locate the right avatar for them. Maki. They've been making events with the 501st, working with a Star Wars community, to the point where that Star Wars community came over to us and asked for our assistance in reorganizing their command structure, which our academy and senior officers all helped with.
Ever since, it is because of that we have lasted for over 3 years. The 501st that I lead now, I used to just be a mere recruit. I was a specialist at first, then I got promoted fast up to corporal, sergeant, master sergeant, up the ranks. I used to be under command of someone else. They dipped out. Too much responsibility. Not only that, but they couldn't do it like I could. Okay, I should probably word that differently. They didn't have the time to do it. They didn't have time to do what they wanted to do. So they entrusted me to be the figurehead as their second. They were the clone marshal commander. I was just a clone commander. And so together, we strive to make roleplay and Milsim in the Star Wars community a place that people can actually come to and have fun without running the risk of unpleasant experiences, which was accelerated because of GFC, because of the open-minded and transparent minds here and within my command structure. Since my old mentor retired, I was entrusted with the server and I had to make a decision. It was either leave it out to dry, basically just retiring the server, or secure the longevity of the server as it is and improve upon it. And that is what we did. So thanks to them, I am still in service in the 501st for 1 more year, as well as many of my NCOs and officers that I have that have been with me for just as long as 3 years and longer.
That's awesome. You guys have that collaborative between the groups. That's awesome.
And that's not
we
the only
have
collaboration we have.
We have an annual sci-fi convention in Second Life, and it's still going on.
the person that does it donates the money to, I believe it's the American Heart Association, and they run it as a nonprofit basically, and have a sci-fi convention every year with booths, and groups come and buy a location, a booth, various sci-fi groups, and it's fun because everybody's build is different, and it's usually a theme, but everybody's vision of that theme will be different, and it's just kind of almost like a competition of who can build the most awesome booth presentation for people to visit, or host an event like trivia or a dance or a party or something. And then there's kiosks that we place around that at the different sims and locations to donate money, and that money goes to the American Heart Association. And it usually has hover text over it to kind of tell you how much money they've collected. And they do this annually.
Wow.
It's kind of a big thing. It's usually about 3 or 4 sims, or it might have been up to 6 sims every actually it's about twice a year they do it.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I remember it being a huge thing in Second Life when I would go.
Yeah, it's still pretty big actually.
There was one year that I was at the GFC booth. We would have officers volunteer to go over there and just stand in the booth. And they started giving out codes at the sci-fi convention to people in Starfleet uniforms to go into early access of Star Trek Online. I remember a large number of GFC members receiving codes.
Oh wow.
Yeah. That's kind of the stuff that we're hoping to one day start organizing ourselves over here in VRChat. Something that we've been talking about is trying to organize, charity drives, take part in events like Extra Life or other video game related charity drives that, allow for streamers to go in.
And it makes it nice that you have a currency now. It's easier to do that since you have a currency. Like in real life, one Linden dollar is worth, I want to say, 30. Well, it's $3.
Fluctuates.
Yeah,
About
it
500
definitely
Linden is
fluctuates.
worth about, usually around $5. Usually.
Yeah.
It's around
Yeah,
that.
and that makes it easier to donate because you could donate to Linden, and it might be half a penny or something.
Actually,
you feel like
dollar
you've
is
done
actually
something,
seen
you've
as a
contributed.
global currency.
I just looked it up. The current conversion at this moment for Lindens is $1 equals 247.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
And it fluctuates with the market. It can change minute to minute.
It fluctuates a lot.
Yeah, it fluctuates. It's kind of like Bitcoin in a way if you think about it.
Yeah.
It kind of is.
Something to think about that though. With
It was
the
Bitcoin before
charity.
Bitcoin.
Yeah. With the with the charity events and that, it wouldn't be so much us using the VRChat currency, more so than we would most likely use donation links and similar media through whichever streaming service we use. So it would more so be a donation link, which of course is tied to probably some sort of measurement bar so we can keep track of how much has been donated.
All in all, we wouldn't actually handle any currency.
Yeah, we wouldn't handle any currency. We don't. It's very different from Second Life in that.
Yeah. It would essentially just be a straight donation to whichever
Are you
organization
saying like a
with a
GoFundMe page
measurement.
or something like that?
No,
well,
it's
it's
the
similar,
actual-
but we never touch the money. It goes straight to the charity.
To the charity organization.
Oh, I
Say
see
if
what
we're
you're
doing
saying.
like
Okay.
Relay for Life. I'm sure that name.
Okay.
You understand
Second
Relay
Life?
for Life.
Yes.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Relay for Life goes. You have to go through Relay to Life to get to the charity, where we just go straight to the charity link itself instead of someone in Second Life getting a portion of the funds and then it going to charity.
We would get a personalized donation link, and they would keep
Yeah.
track of who's donating through us and for our activities. We would hand out our link and perform whatever actions we were going to perform. You know, for example, Bus to Nowhere or Probability Labs, and we would continue on with whatever it is we
Sleep on.
say that we're going to do
First of
for
all-
the duration that they donate for us to do it for, and whatever other stipulations go through, we'd have to organize all that.
Well,
But,
when through our various settings, we've like our library or other things. Over time, some of the things, just so you know, what we've done is we've actually had sci-fi authors come in and give a lecture like you're interviewing now. A sci-fi. We've had several sci-fi authors come in and they don't even play the game or anything, but they'll get into an avatar and come in and actually lecture at something that we're doing. And of course, we put out pictures of their book and all that type of thing. We've also had the son of Gene Roddenberry visit our sim, and he talked. And one of the things he
okay?
talked about was very interesting. He was very young when his dad was doing the Star Trek shows and things of that nature. So he was, just sharing with us some of the things of his experiences of learning about Star
I'm gonna
Trek
move your
and
post over,
learning,
okay?
after his
I want
dad
you to
is
stand
gone.
over there at the corner.
And
I'll stand over
then one of our members went to the Star Trek convention and had one of the Star Trek stars, it was a female, sign an autograph picture to GFC. And we imported that in game and gave it away as a gift to our members and things like that. So, if you put it out there, people will be interested. When you say you have a Star Trek group, you already have a name, and we're Galaxy Fleet Command, and people will participate if you let them know that what you have going. So when you have a fundraiser or something like that, you can, think about inviting people to come in and talk about what they've got going on with their Star Wars group and things of that nature. You'll generate interest. There's a lot of people out there interested.
it's one thing that our
And then you'll
events
get the
team has been working
egomaniacs.
on.
It don't seem like you've gotten at least I haven't seen it yet, but we've had serious egomaniacs over the years. In fact, that's we learned, one of the first things Cobra Max and I learned was that when you have members having personal disagreements with each other, they have to fix that. We can't be involved because people will try to get you involved in their personal issues with another avatar. We went through those type of things, so we got ourselves back out of that type of thing. But then we'll have people come in and they're running things and they're helping us and moving along, and then all of a sudden, even though with thank yous and promotions, they feel like they're doing all the work, and the disputes may arise. We have had a number of cools. I would call them a cool. People either where they left our group and took 5-6 people with them, never to return in some cases.
What was that thing that happened with one particular builder ended up leaving and taking the build with them? I think it was.
Oh, that was Squagmire. Lord have mercy. You remember that one. That was the first one, actually. But
Yeah.
I tell you, this guy, he helped. He was a master builder in Second Life, way ahead of everybody. And we talked to him when we had our sim, and he told us that our sim was a joke because it didn't have anything on it, which it didn't. It was just blank land, and he came in and voluntarily build our place, made it fabulous and beautiful, and somewhere down the line, it became playtime for him, and we didn't like the playtime, like putting a toilet in my office, stuff like that, just to piss us off or something. And so he had let the word out, not to Cobra and I, but to other people, that he was going to take his toys basically and leave. And so one of our members was nice enough to put a platform down under our bleachers, because we were sitting in bleachers having a meeting, and this guy was planning to deteriorate the sim. He had put a script in all the stuff he built that it would fizz away with us sitting on them. And that's exactly what happened. But the platform, as soon as he took his stuff, we all landed on this platform. And it was a really big thing. That was a really big thing that just disappeared, after like maybe he might have been with us maybe a couple, 2-3 years. And from there, instead of feeling lost or feeling that we lost all these beautiful builds and all this stuff, we actually used it as an opportunity and launched a contest to design a new build for our sim. And we had people make mock-ups of what they would like. Some people wanted to be in the sky. Some people wanted to be on the ground, our builds. And we had a really nice turnout for this contest that we put out there. I think we put a little money on it, but it wasn't a whole lot. It might have been, maybe 2,000-3,000 linden to do this build. But from there, we picked out what we wanted. Had the membership to vote, and we ended up with another beautiful, beautiful sim. But yes, like you said, that was one of them. That was the first one, and it was actually very damaging in the mind, because we thought we trusted this person and felt that he was like a brother, is what Cobra said one time. Um, uh, uh, but anyway, but we had it happen again, and it was kind of with a member who had been with us forever. But he got in real life a guy from Britain. His girlfriend, who was a drunk, but she just, I don't know, just always was unhappy. But they had friends, and when they left, they took maybe 6-7 people with them. We've had members leave us. Like one time, we actually threw everyone out of the group. We sent them a notice that we were changing the group, and we wanted them to take an invite to the new group. And a member felt that was inappropriate. He thought it was like burning a village or something. People have different reasons of why they don't like your tactics, and they may retaliate in some kind of way. But you just work through it and keep on the prize, and the prize is basically having our Star Trek world and keep developing it so that we can have members. And we have a memorial. Even though we don't have the sim anymore, we still have the memorial in our inventory of our members who have passed, which we've got probably about 7 or 8 on now. that have in real life deceased, and their families in most cases have gotten to us and let us know that this person has passed. They send us a real life picture of them, and we have a memorial service for them. And we value that. We value those members. They were important to us. And I'm hoping that when I pass, GFC will put me in the memorial, that Katrina Bixby will be remembered.
Long time down the road.
Hopefully.
Oh.
Well, I'm gonna take off for now, folks. It's
Okay.
been fun.
Thank you very much for joining
Yes,
us.
well, thank
It
you
was
for
an absolute
staying up
pleasure.
so late, Admiral.
Yes, nice meeting you.
Thank you.
And you can come back now.
Okay, now that I've got everything set up, I will. And then next time I'm here, I'll get myself into a more proper avatar and suit and everything.
We've got Xenoscience. They can hook you up.
Well, robot, you look appropriate to me.
And if you ever need a starship, you know a guy.
You know a guy.
He's an AI. He's an AI.
We could literally bring in your favorite starship from Second Life, custom made by Renaissance.
Which starship is that?
The Ajax.
Yeah, we could recreate the Ajax in here.
That would be one heck of a build.
Honora, you sound so much like Mo. You're not Mo, are you?
What class of starship is it?
No, I am not.
Oh, you sure sound like him.
Sir, what is the current Ajax?
Cobra, are you gone?
I think Cobra's gone.
Might have disappeared.
Sorry, no,
Yeah.
I was
there.
trying. Okay, current Ajax is a sovereign
Julian.
class.
Sovereign?
I can work with that. I got sovereign class stuff.
It's got hydroponics and a whole bunch of other.
It'd be a lot more complex build.
Yeah,
Well,
we can
I've
get you
got
some of the current
sovereign
schematics.
glass bridge and corridors, and at least start with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need pictures, inspiration. That's how I work.
They've been
we can
working on
get that.
perfecting the Ajax for literally decades.
That's true. That's true. All right, folks. Have a good one.
Have a good one.
Safe travels, sir.
Live long, prosper, sir.
Peace and long life.
I think it's about time we're going to cut this out ourselves. Thank you all so very much for letting us get to know you guys and hear your tale. It was an absolute honor.
Yeah,
Thank
for
you.
Very
I'm going to leave with a... I'd like to leave with a couple fighting words.
Well, okay. What is that?
I've got the finest crew in Starfleet.
Oh. So, one last question for you guys as well. If anyone wishes to find you guys and join, where would they go to find you?
Well, they could either visit Second Life and pop in on Core GFC.
Galaxy Fleet
And they can
Command.
join through Core GFC, or they can find us here in VRChat. We actually we don't openly recruit. We typically go by friend of friend, and do group plus instances where you have to have a friend in the group in order to find the instance.
Okay.
So reaching out to somebody who's already in, or looking up the group and requesting to join, would be the two best ways to do it.
Okay. Well, would you...
The best way would probably be to find the group, and request.
Okay. Would you guys want us to put it in the description of the video for people, or do you want us to leave it out and have people find it as they will?
Let's leave it out and let people find it as they will. It's been a
Alrighty.
pretty good filter so far.
All right.
We're not against people not joining. Of course, we're always open to having people join us. So
Though
don't
I'm
take it
pretty
like
sure
we
some
don't
people
want
will
to,
probably, if
obviously.
it's put on YouTube, people will be asking for
Yeah.
them. Sorry.
Yeah.
Let them hunt.
Let them hunt. They'll bring the people who actually want to join and actually are willing to take the time to try and find us. And honestly,
You want
I
to
think
find
that's
us?
what
You
Star
want to
Trek's
join?
all about. I think that's what Star Trek's all about. The discovery, the exploration, finding what you are
Exactly.
seeking.
Venture into that new frontier.
Boldly go.
If
Boldly
nothing
go
else, just tell 'em
where
you got free
haven't
cookies.
gone yet. You're the one that has the free cookies. You have to install the cookies.
Where are the cookies?
We want our cookies.
We don't even have working replicators yet.
To boldly go where every VRChat player has been before.
Good try.
You do great work. Grant.
I
We love
swear
you.
every. Freaking froze up again. Are you serious? Hang on. I'm gonna take this headset and I'm gonna throw it down a flight of stairs. That's what I'm gonna do.
Just make sure you're not wearing
know
it
the
when you do.
Like any other day, it's fine, but tonight it's like, no. Technical difficulties.
Like our security's been going throughout this whole interview. Like they've been like on point.
They have. They've escorted me here at least 3 times.
Oh, well then.
Like if they weren't getting accolades during the biannual ball, they're getting them now.
Oh, Ren's back.
Oh, well then, well then, folks, there won't be a link down here for you this time. You're gonna have to go find them. But as always, we'll give you the audience a question for yourself before we hand it off to Raptor to close. And I think I'm gonna ask this: what is your favorite moment in Star Trek, if you've ever seen it? If not, go watch it, find it, let us know what you saw. But with that said, Mr. Raptor, you know the thing.
You know, well, with two groups like this, it's really interesting to see what you see and enjoy. And I always wanted to say this when I was on and watched Star Trek as a young kid. Boldly go where no man has gone before. And guess what? They're doing it. Take care, folks, and have a good one. And like they say, bring your cookies. They don't serve milk here. I haven't found none yet. I'm still looking. Have a good one. We'll talk to you later. Bye.